Success is a word that we hear a lot, but at 17, you're not expected to have lived it. Most people expect dreams, potential, plans. But I've done more than dream. Over the past few years, I've been privileged to serve as the head of my school's Computer Science Society and the head of my school's Dubai Keen Society, where I've helped students grow and develop a passion beyond the curriculum. I was elected a senior prefect and now deputy head boy. And in these roles, I've been able to speak at major events, lead assemblies, and implement school-wide initiatives. I also co-founded and directed the UAE Innovate Hackathon, the UAE's largest student-led competition in collaboration with the UAE government. Over 2 years, we brought together over 400 students to develop AI projects for real-world impact. And I've also achieved the impossible. I successfully explained what ChatGPT is to my grandparents without anybody crying. So, now that I've given you a few reasons to actually listen to me about success, allow me to share how I got here and the 3 key qualities that shaped my journey. When I was 8 years old, I started drawing. Just me, a sheet of paper, and a box of 20 fancy color pencils. It started with Indian gods. You might recognize a few of them that I drew and painted. Krishna, with his peacock feather and flute. Ganesh, the elephant-headed remover of obstacles. Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. And Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. I tried to capture all the details. The elegance in Saraswati's posture, the symmetry in Lakshmi's jewelry, the expression on Ganesh's face. Now, the drawings weren't perfect. Some proportions were off. A hand was too short or a nose was too high up, but they turned out surprisingly well. And that's not because I nailed them on the first try, or the second, or even the fifth, but because I spent entire evenings, weekends, summers, completely lost in it. I loved bringing the tiniest details of necklaces and crowns to life. After every attempt, the lines became smoother, the shadows more deliberate, and the colors richer. My drawings got good because I kept going, because drawing was a passion. And if you want to be successful, that's the first key quality you need, passion. Real passion keeps going after 45, 50 failures. It doesn't care about circumstances, school, academics, family pressures. No, real pressure is not hindered by criticisms, no matter where it comes from. There's a famous saying, just before the light, the night is darkest. And real passion doesn't vanish in the dark, it pushes through. And if your efforts fade when things get tough, it's not passion, it's just an impulse. Take a look at history. All the world's greatest leaders had a passion. They were driven by something that they refused to let go of. Abraham Lincoln had a passion for unity and justice, so he shaped modern America through civil war and the abolition of slavery. Ratan Tata loved building. Not just companies, but building a modern India. And Henry Ford had a passion for innovation and engineering, so he became the father of the automobile. Henry Ford's first prototype of a vehicle, the quadricycle, came in 1896 when he was 32 years old. But Henry Ford had left the family farm at the age of 15, which means that he spent 17 whole years trying, failing, and learning. Not for fame, not for money, but for purpose. And that's passion. Okay, who here knows who the 13th president of the United States was? Anybody? 13th president of the US? No, that's not correct. But that's the point. You don't need to know who he was to be successful. You just need to know yourself. And the ancient Greeks had a maxim for this. Gnoti sauton, meaning know thyself. It was carved into stone at the temple of Apollo in Delphi, the most sacred place in ancient Greece. Pilgrims used to travel for miles just to read those 2 words. Even Apollo, the god of wisdom himself, expected people to reflect inward before asking the universe for answers. So I'd like you all to take a moment and reflect. What's your inner mission? Because once you know that, have the courage to follow it. And more importantly, say no to anybody who pulls you away from it. Personally, I like to say that my mission is to be the best version of myself. I often ask myself serious questions. What does it even mean to be my best version? Should I become an academic machine and study 14 hours a day, 7 days a week? Or should I drop out of school to become a pro cricketer? But over time, I realized something more valuable. I want to grow in every aspect of the word, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and I want to bring others up along with me. That's why I co-founded the Dubai Youth Group. A few years ago, we were just a group of friends meeting every 2 weeks to do self-growth and experimental sessions. But today, I lead a community of over 50 teenagers across Dubai. We do Ramadan food drives, beach cleanups, we raise money for underprivileged schools in India, and we do all these social initiatives for self-growth and selfless service. So the lesson is, because I knew myself and I chose to walk that path, I've stayed successfully grounded in my purpose. Oh, and even though you don't need to know this, in case anyone was still wondering, the 13th president of the US was Millard Fillmore. All right, enough history. Let's talk about 2023, September. Year 11 had just begun for me. And for some reason, I decided to sign up for a maths course based in California. Now, this sounds exciting, right? Until you realize that California is 11 hours behind Dubai. So my classes, they were scheduled from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., twice a week for 12 weeks straight. Can you imagine that? But believe it or not, I showed up every single time. I still vividly remember it. I would wake up at 3:35 a.m. and drag myself out of bed, half asleep. I'd sit at my dimly lit desk while the world around me was silent, and I'd get to work. Was I excited to wake up that early? Was I bursting with motivation? No. It was discipline, simple and straightforward, because I understood the importance of those academic lessons to my personal growth. And if you want to be successful, that's the third key quality you need, discipline. My favorite cricketer is Sachin Tendulkar. Do you guys know him? Yeah. So everyone knows the moment he hits a match-winning century. The ball flies past the boundary, the crowd roars. But what nobody sees are the 999 net sessions that lead up to that single shot. The countless hours of practice in hotel rooms before big games. The silent grind that perfects every stroke. That is discipline. It's the part nobody sees, but the part that makes all the difference. Think of a swan gliding serenely across a lake. The image is calm, peaceful, almost poetic. But beneath the water, the swan is paddling furiously, relentlessly. This is discipline. On the surface, you have to appear calm and in control. But beneath it all, you're mastering the unseen effort that propels you forward. Let me share one more metaphor. If you crack an egg from the outside, what happens? It kills it. But if you crack an egg from the inside, it births life. Discipline is that inner work, the quiet, persistent effort that allows you to succeed by transforming you from inside out. Okay, so we've covered passion, knowing yourself, and discipline, the three core pillars of success that I've encountered in my life. But here's the ultimate truth. Success is not a linear journey. Trust me, even my math teacher, who went to Oxford, couldn't plot that equation. Failure will occur, but that's okay, because failure is just a checkpoint. It's a moment to reset, reflect, and relaunch. You know, sometimes you have to take a step back, like pulling an arrow into its bow, before you release forward with greater force. So, embrace the pullback and trust the launch. And remember, the path to success might not be predictable, but at least it's never boring. Thank you.
Thank you.